You'll notice quite the change in what I wanted to wear this week, just because spring has arrived in the UK. It's actually been sunny, it's been quite warm. It's just generally been a very, very beautiful week most of the time. So hallelujah, my desire to wear spring fragrances, light fragrances, clean fragrances, really nice floral things, it's really kicked in. So let's start with a L'Occitane perfume. This is one that I got in the Christmas sale. I think it's a limited edition, but I swear I see this all over the place. You can get it so easily for about 25 quid, which is what I paid for it on eBay. This is Cerisier Etoile, and it is, that I think means cherry tree stars. It's interesting that I think this maybe was out in winter, because this one, it doesn't smell good in cold weather. It smells sharp and shampoo-y. You don't get all the nice subtleties. In warm weather, it's gorgeous. It still has a shampoo-y vibe to it, but it smells like a very, very expensive shampoo. It's not a screechy kind of shampoo scent, so I didn't mind wearing it, because the more shampoo-y scents that I find like super screechy, I can't cope with them. But the notes in this one are top notes of water flowers, green notes, cherry blossom, geranium, middle notes, cherry blossom, geranium and tuberose, and then the base notes are musk and white cedar extract. I don't find this massively woody. Definitely it's a bit sharper and greener at the top when you spray it, because you do get the kind of, it's like a lotus or something, in the top. Maybe water lily. The green notes definitely at the top, but really it's cherry blossom. It's a very pretty cherry blossom. It's a bit musky. Sadly I don't really get a sense of the tuberose, but at the same time I happily don't get tons of geranium either. So I really enjoyed wearing it. It's just so pretty. And while I'm on the subject of L'Occitane, I actually went to the shop because I got kind of stranded in London because Oxford Circus was closed, so I ended up going down to Piccadilly Circus, and on the way down I passed the L'Occitane, and I thought, right, I'm going to go in and check out their perfume. Let me just get the notes up. It's called Herbae Spartium. So I've got the original Herbae. It's a beautiful syrupy green, fruity, just magical perfume. It's beautiful. Reminds me of my old signature scent, La Belle Cerisier Liberty Fizz, but it's kind of a bit more honeyed, a bit more syrupy. Now that is, I think, one of the stronger and longer lasting L'Occitane. So I did forget to mention, this definitely doesn't last a particularly long time. They're all eau de toilettes, I think. And the lighter ones, the really floral ones, they only last for maybe 4 hours. Maybe 3 or 4 hours on the skin, probably a bit longer on clothing. So I just took this with me to work and I just topped it up. But I don't mind doing that, to be honest, because, it's still only 25 quid and I think that's a 50ml bottle. Herbae is stronger, it lasts longer, I find, and it's one that I don't necessarily love for summer because I find it quite syrupy, and I kind of like it maybe spring, but definitely kind of autumn. It's like a honeyed, like a honeyed green floral scent. The Spartium I thought looked really interesting because the main note is broom, and broom is like a kind of polleny yellow floral, like really spring-like, really pretty. I don't see it in a huge amount of perfumes, but I went to have a sniff, so I've still got my little card here. I literally went in, the lady asked me if she could help, and I said, I just want to smell this new one. She sprayed it on here and she watched my reaction, and then she said to me, jasmine, because I think I probably pulled a face. And it wouldn't have been like a disgusted face, it would have been a surprised face, because there is jasmine in Herbae Spartium, and the jasmine is an absolute beast in it. It's not like an uncomfortable jasmine, the way that some jasmines are like super indolic, or they go a bit weird, like just funky, It's a beautiful jasmine, but it is strong. She literally said to me they should have called it Herbae Jasmine. So clearly I mean, I would say she probably is like me and she's not keen on jasmine. So I was slightly disappointed. But at the same time, I would also highly recommend this if you don't mind jasmine. So the notes in it are top notes of grapefruit, spices, rhubarb. Middle notes of broom, sweetgrass and jasmine. Base notes, sialkalide? I've never heard of that, but it's some kind of synthetic molecule thing. It looks slightly ambery or something. Whitewoods and ylang ylang. For me, lots of sweet grass in this, tons of jasmine, quite a lot of broom. It is sweet. It's really quite strong. It's an explosion of a scent, considering it's a L'Occitane, and it's very spring-like and sunshiny. I would. It's not because they smell anything alike. They don't smell anything alike. But in terms of the kind of general vibe of a really sunshiny perfume, it made me think of Sunflowers by Elizabeth Arden. I'd completely forgotten that I had a bottle of that in my collection, so I will wear it next week. But whenever I smell that, I just think of Sunflowers. Like, it's so linked in my brain, because that's such an old school, like, famous perfume. It reminds me of my childhood when I used to grow giant sunflowers, and it's just a beautiful, deep yellow colour. That's what that smells like to me. And actually, I think that Herbae Spartium has that same vibe. It doesn't have the same scent profile at all, but it has that same feeling of beautiful, deep, bright, sun-kissed yellow florals, you know. So I think it's beautiful. It's just not one I can wear because the jasmine's crazy. And actually, if you have a problem with things like ambroxan and like general kind of modern molecules, this might also be a problem, because in the very deep dry down I could definitely get a vibe for something that was a bit weird, and I didn't really know what it was, and so I'm thinking it was probably that. Okay, what have we got next? Oh my goodness, speaking of Elizabeth Arden, she's queen, or whoever made this, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, so I was definitely going to wear this. If you watched my haul, you'd have seen that I got Mediterranean from Elizabeth Arden. There's already a hella dent in this, but that's because, again, if you saw my little short, I decanted some of this so I could take it to work, which I think is fair enough, because it's like maybe 4 hours, 5 hours if you put it on your clothes. It's not the longest lasting perfume, but my goodness, it is so pretty. So let me just find the notes for this bad boy. The notes for Elizabeth Arden Mediterranean are top notes of plum, Sicilian mandarin and peach. Middle notes are wisteria, magnolia and orchid. The base notes are musk, sandalwood and amber. Now, I think that for me, the wisteria is extremely dominant, followed by the plum and the magnolia. There's definitely a fruitiness to it. There's definitely a kind of slightly peachy wateriness to it, but mainly I get that purple floral. I know that I can tell there's sandalwood, I can tell there's musk. It's slightly powdery, but it's also ever so slightly salty and aquatic. It definitely is slightly salty, this. They don't list seawater, but they do talk about the kind of ocean, that there's like ocean in this perfume when they talk about it on the website, the Elizabeth Arden website. Oh, it's so pretty and feminine and easy to wear. It's actually very sweet. So I would say as well, I don't think it's a massively risky blind buy if you know that you like lilac and wisteria. I think it's actually much sweeter than I was expecting it to be, but that's a good thing, because I sometimes find magnolia to be quite screechy, but the purple florals are more dominant in this, and it's not like a sharp plum, it's a sweet plum, a sweet and watery plum. It's so pretty. I absolutely love it. I'm really glad I got it. And interestingly enough, I did say that there was something in it that reminded me of the elements I enjoy from Britney Spears' Curious, which I can't wear because it gave me a headache. In the dry down, it definitely got sweeter, but the magnolia and the jasmine in that were just too strong and just gave like a sharpness, which I often find with jasmine and magnolia. Sometimes they just do something to my head, but the actual smell of it I think is gorgeous. I just couldn't wear it. And actually, this is made by the same person, so It's Claude Dir. D-I-R? I don't know if I've pronounced that right. But he also made Britney Spears curious. So sometimes you just kind of can get a sense, you know, for someone's style. So anyway, that is Mediterranean, and it was absolutely heavenly, beautiful and lushness. Now, we're sticking with Elizabeth Arden because on Monday, I just felt rough. I needed something that I didn't want to take the risk, because I actually wore this on Tuesday, because my initial plan was that I would wear it on Monday, and then I was like, I'm not going to risk wearing a new perfume when I've got a headache, because I don't want to ruin it for the rest of time, and I don't want to link it with having a headache. So I wanted to go for something I knew wasn't going to irritate me, and, you know, it's just easy. So, I mean, straight up easy choice. I've got 2 bottles of this. I've got a massive bottle, and then this is the one I take to work. Elizabeth Arden, the original green tea, an absolute stunning spa-like light tea perfume. Perfect level of citruses, not too sharp. Perfect level of sweetness, not too sweet, not too sharp. Perfect level of greenness, not too green, not too grassy. Just absolutely stunning. The green tea is perfect in it. The herbal vibe is perfect. It is a perfect perfume. I genuinely believe that this is a masterpiece. I go on about it quite a lot because people are a bit rude about it, and because it's just so cheap, I don't know that people value it the way that they should. But here's something that should make you value this if you didn't already. Francis Kirk de Jeanne made this. So this is his perfume. It's so good. People can spend £300+ on his perfumes now. You can get this for £10, and it is stunning. Absolutely perfect for hot weather. I love green tea. Anyway, I won't go on about it too much, but I'm just saying it was made by someone who's considered a perfume genius, and I genuinely think this is a masterpiece. If you think Baccarat Rouge is a masterpiece, and honestly, I think the profile of that, yes, totally a masterpiece. Green tea is a masterpiece. There's been many things made in its stead. None of them are as good, including any of the flankers of this. This is a genius perfume. This one actually, everyone says it doesn't last very long nowadays, but this lasts for ages on me. It must just be my skin. It lasts for ages on my clothes. It lasts for ages on my skin. I do like to top it up at lunchtime and then before I leave work, just because I love it so much and I like it to be mega strong. But I can smell it on myself for like 6 hours easily. Okay, so the notes. Top notes: lemon, bergamot, mint, orange peel and rhubarb. Middle notes: jasmine, oak moss, fennel, musk, carnation, white amber. Base notes: green tea, jasmine, oak moss, musk, celery seeds, caraway, cloves and amber. Can I pick any specific notes out of this? Not massively. I can tell you that there's a slight herbal vibe, there's a slight warmth to it, but it's also cooling from the mint, and then there's citruses. It's definitely a bit musky. There's loads of green tea. I think the jasmine probably is the most noticeable floral, but it's so well done it doesn't bother me like the way that some jasmines do. I just sorry guys, this one's going to be so long. Okay. So I've had this for ages. This is Dolce Shine. This is just one that I saw come up. Like, I saw this on Amazon and it was on a special offer. I think it was like maybe £28 or something when it was on special. So I thought, I'm just going to get that. Going to see what it's like. So Dolce Shine is a sort of mango, a floral mango perfume. And I was thinking to myself, because when I looked at the notes of it, it's got tuberose in, and I was like, oh, I mean, that just sounds amazing. In fact, I'm going to read you the notes. So top notes: mango, quince, grapefruit. Middle notes: solar notes, oxalic notes, tuberose, sea salt, jasmine, orange blossom. Base notes: white musk, Australian sandalwood, whitewoods. I know from reading the reviews of this that it's definitely going to depend, I think, not only on your skin and how you smell things generally, but also how much you like certain elements of this, because I like tuberose and I was excited about that, and I can't really smell tuberose in this perfume because it's totally drowned out by orange blossom. Whereas some people, they say that they can smell too much tuberose and they don't like it. So, you know, again, I think for me, this is a mango and orange blossom perfume. I have had Dolce Garden, so let's just talk about all of this. Dolce Garden, I still have, because I got this sample when I bought the original Dolce. So I have Dolce Garden in a sample. I actually had a bottle that I had before this. I sold it. Dolce Garden I find a bit sickly. I find it very sickly. It's quite thick. It's quite hard to wear. The notes in this are magnolia, neroli and mandarin in the top, coconut, frangipani and ylang ylang in the middle, and vanilla, absolute, almond milk and sandalwood in the base. So Dolce Garden, I thought it smelled a bit yogurty, but incredibly sweet at the same time. I think that's the magnolia and the neroli mixing with the almond milk and coconut. I really do not like that combination. I don't like the neroli in here at all. It's like screechy white florals mixed with sweet creaminess, and that's just not a combination that I could get on with. However, I think in terms of a scent bubble, this one's the strongest. It's probably the most interesting. It's also, I think from far away this would be the one that I'd notice and I'd quite enjoy, but there is something running through the Dolce line that I find very, very sharp and screechy and uncomfortable. I really don't like it. So I had this one, and then I got this one and this little one. I got these at around about the same time. I did talk about this in my rose perfume video very briefly. But Dolce Shine is the one that I think I find the most comfortable. However, it's not very interesting. It still has a screechiness to it. And because it's like a mango and orange blossom predominantly, to me that's how it smells. It's also really soapy. I would just rather wear Liz Claiborne Mambo because I think it's a bit sweeter, I think it's softer, I think it's nicer, it's cheaper, and to be honest, neither of them last particularly long. This doesn't last very long, really. So I am going to declutter Shine. I don't like it. If I just move on to Rose real quick, let me just get the notes up. So this one, top notes, red currant, green apple, mandarin orange. Middle notes, rose, May rose, white peach and magnolia. Base notes, musk, whitewood and sandalwood. I also find this to be a very sharp shampoo scent. It's got a lot of red currant. I can smell a bit of rose, but it's mainly shampoo, and it does not smell the way, like this one smells like a fancy shampoo. This smells like a cheap, screechy shampoo, and I really do not like Dolce Rose. I think it's not a nice perfume. I cannot get on with that one. That one's also going to be decluttered. What I do like is the shape of these bottles. They're not round the way you think they might be. I'm not even sure if you can see that. They're really lovely, quite cute. So no to those, absolutely not. I will just finish off by saying I also do have this. This is the original Dolce. The reason I was interested in this is because it has a papaya flower. And I thought, oh, that sounds really interesting. I love papaya. So unfortunately, it also has neroli and water lily, and I also find this really screechy. I think the original Dolce is sharp, screechy. It dries down, gets a bit sweeter. There is still, like I said, there's something in the DNA of these perfumes that I just do not like. It might be the musk. I mean, that does seem to be a bit of a problem with me for some perfume houses just don't. And I don't have any other Dolce & Gabbanas. I don't like any other Dolce & Gabbanas that I've smelt since I was a kid, and I think it was the red cap that I used to like when I was young. I think because that's an aldehydic sweet perfume. But I find this one, which is neroli and papaya in the top, middle notes water lily, narcissus and amaryllis, and the base is musk and cashmerian. This literally smells like nail varnish remover to me. Like, I just can't get on with it. No. So all of the Dolce range is off my books, as it were. I'm filming this on Friday. I was working from home today, so I wore this throughout the day. When it started to die down after maybe 4 hours, I just thought, right, I'm just going to do another skin test of this and the other Dolce so I could talk about them all here without having to, that's me being lazy, without having to do a whole review vid for them. And then I was like, oh, I just don't like any of these. I literally scrubbed this and the other two off my skin. So I just wanted something clean and fresh. So I'm currently wearing Boum Savon. Boum Savon is one of those perfumes that smells like a bubble bath. I don't know that the notes are massively helpful. They just say top notes almond and floral notes, middle notes water, lily of the valley, base notes musk and jasmine. I think that this just smells like a really lovely fresh bubble bath. I don't really get anything more from it than that. So I can't really, it's really hard. It's slightly floral, but nothing massively jumps out at me from any of this. It just smells like a bubble bath. It's just great. So that's that. Now, this is one that I keep saying, am I going to declutter it? Maybe I'll declutter it. I'm not sure if I'm going to declutter it. I wore it on Saturday and I liked it so much I wore it pretty much the whole day. I did a little bit of testing in the morning, but just going to give it a quick spray. Woo! Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's totally staying. So this is Larive Wave of Love. Wave of Love is a lovely lilac summer tea perfume. So basically, when I got Mediterranean, I was already thinking, okay, that is wisteria, but it has that lilac-y vibe. So maybe I will be able to declutter Larive. Not because I'm trying to get rid of loads of my perfumes, just because just for S's and G's, but because I have no space. I am going to have to start decluttering things I actually like. So I'm going to have to make some really sensible decisions because I don't have storage space to make more space for perfumes. I already have huge amounts of space taken up by perfumes. I can't afford to create any more. I live in London. Our flat isn't big. Unless I'm going to kick my husband out, I really need to declutter a bit. But this is so nice. I can't get rid of this. The more I wear it, the more I love it. So, it is. It's similar in profile, absolutely, to Dolce&Gabbana Light Blue. This is a dupe, I should say, of Lanvin Eclat de Arpege, and that is, again, it's just a lilac and wisteria and tea perfume. So the notes in this: lilac, lemon, black elder at the top, middle notes tea, wisteria, peony, osmanthus and peach. Base notes are musk, amber and cedar. The thing is, light blue, it's more citrusy. It's not as soft as this. It's more woody and it's more masculine. This has the same profile, but it's definitely softer. It's definitely sweeter. When I say softer, I don't mean it's like not as strong. I mean it's just smoother and kind of more fluffy in a weird way. It's soothing. And yeah, it just doesn't have that same kind of excessive woodiness that I find with light blue. Light blue just has never worked for me, and I've never smelt a flanker I like either, and plus it's really expensive. Eclat de Arpege you can get like a 30ml for maybe 15-20 quid, but Larive Wave of Love is like 8 quid for, I think this is 100 or a 90ml, and it's so nice. It got sweeter and prettier and more feminine the longer I wore it, and I'm really into it. I'm keeping it. It's so good for summer. So I wore this on a date night. Trying to decide how I feel about it. This is JLo Lust. Jennifer Lopez Lust, I should say. And how do I feel about it? Honest answer, just not bothered. It's not that it's not nice, it's just not as nice as so many other perfumes that I have, for me personally. It's really light. I sprayed it on and I was like, okay, you've got that strawberry in the top. So the notes here are top notes of strawberry, apple blossom and mandarin orange, middle notes vanilla orchid, white peach and jasmine sambac, base notes tolu balsam, tonka bean and musk. Strawberry, yes. Apple blossom, yes. That's what you get when you first spray it. The more it dries down, the more you get a bit of a sweet skin scent with a slightly balsamic vibe and a lot of vanilla orchid. But it's so light, like even on a warm night and even when there were warm things happening, I could barely smell this on me. I'm not sure if it's because I'm anosmic, because I can smell this from the lid. I can smell it from the sprayer really clearly when I sniff it. I don't have to spray it out. But when it dries down, it either disappears incredibly quickly or I just can't smell it anymore. So I'm not going to keep this because I know it's discontinued. There might be people who actually genuinely love this and find it hard to get. So I'd rather pass it on to someone who's going to appreciate it than keep it in a drawer and never use it, you know. A very different reaction to this one because I wore it and was just so obsessed and in love. I haven't worn this for a while because it is so much better in warm weather. Oh, I love it. Sadly, the lettering's coming off of this. It did say Lanvin. This is Lanvin Modern Princess, and it is an absolute beaut. Ugh, I was so happy to wear this again. I sort of forget, you know, sometimes if you've got a big collection and you have like winter, autumn, summer, you know, you've got some stuff you wear in cold weather, some stuff you only wear in warm. Oh, the joy of rediscovering the stuff when you move from seasons, you know. This is my beloved Lanvin musk. I got one recently that's in a future haul that I've filmed and will come up soon from Lanvin that I was so sad about because I thought it would have the Lanvin musk and it really didn't. It had like a Lancome style musk in it and I was like, oh no, it's so screechy, ow my head. Whereas these Lanvins, so in my Oxygen perfume, in Jeanne by Lanvin, and in this Modern Princess, it is a creamy, sort of slightly bar soapy musk. But in this one, it's almost edible. It's so creamy. So this is top notes of red apple, red currant, middle notes freesia and jasmine, base notes vanilla orchid, white musk and white woods. And I am obsessed. I love it. It's beautiful. I could not get enough of this. It's much stronger in warm weather. So I would say you can definitely wear this in autumn. It's a really pretty, very light kind of appley smell for autumn. And you can definitely tell it's red apple here and not green. It's not got that kind of sharpness or crispness. It's just, well, I know it is crisp, but like you can tell it's red. You can tell it's a crisp, sweet red apple rather than a crisp, sweet, but tart green apple. I don't get a huge amount of red currant, to be honest. I get mainly freesia and musk with that beautiful red apple. I was obsessed. I couldn't stop spraying it on myself. I love it. I absolutely love it. I would love to get the flankers of this at some point because I think they both look really nice. One's like a peachy musk, creamy peachy musk, and one's like a watermelon one. I want them both. I fully plan to get them at some point. But yeah, I cannot recommend this enough, especially if you struggle with perfumes, because I think it's such an easy reach. It's one that's very, very easy to wear. What do I have next? Oh yeah, I did say I was going to wear it and it was so awesome. Okay, let me just find the notes for it. Oh, it's so awesome. I think this is the best like clean laundry smell I've ever smelled. This is Clean Classics, or Clean Classic, their classic range, and it's called Simply Clean. It's just... oh, it's such a winner. It's got a lavendery smell, but it's also got a real sweetness in the base from like heliotrope, I think. So the notes are bergamot, cardamom and lavender in the top. Middle notes of mimosa, fresh laundry, a fresh laundry accord, and aquatic blossom in the middle. Base notes hinoki wood. It says fresh hinoki wood, white musk and heliotrope. It just smells like... it smells like you've just taken... how to explain it? It smells like you've washed your clothes with a really high quality lavender scented liquid detergent, and then you've put them in the tumble dryer and you've taken them out and you're wearing them on your very like sweet skin. In fact, it's almost like you would have had to put some kind of sweet perfume on. And it's the combination of your kind of freshly tumble dried clothes. I don't even have a tumble dryer, but I remember the days when I did. I love it. $5.99 on Direct Cosmetics. You can also get it from them on eBay. It's slightly more, because I got a backup of this. It's slightly more bony because they include the postage in that. It's just absolutely scrumptious. Then we have this guy. This is a dabble bottle, so I have to be careful when I sniff it. But it's so incredible. As I said, I saw on the website that they had new formulas, all the Clarins treatment fragrances. So I was like, oh no, I really hope they haven't totally ruined them. It will be an absolute tragedy if they've changed them too much, because they're very popular, obviously. But this is Eau Ressourcante. I probably haven't said that wrong. I apologise to anyone who knows how to say it. But this is the one. It reminds me of my aunt because she wears this, and I had a little tiny vial of it. And then I was like, I don't really need the bottle, but to be honest, I just love it. So I had to get an actual bottle of it. This is one of my early videos before I had a microphone. The notes they list are basil and lemon in the top, middle note iris, base note cedar and benzoin. There is an overall vibe of a very gentle violet, I think, when this dries down properly. It's another one that smells like kind of almost like fresh laundry, but this has more of a wet laundry. When you first spray it, you get lemon and basil, or you first dab it, you get lemon and basil. That is the main thing, and you're going to be like, woo! It will revitalize you, it will wake you up, it will be zingy, and then it will dry down and you'll get that gorgeous iris. It just has a warm, pretty, clean purple floral smell about it. It's beautiful, it's really pretty. Depending on the weather, this will last on me for anywhere between like 3 and 5 hours. In my initial video, I did say it lasted forever, but it's kind of lasts for ages on clothes. It doesn't last so long on skin. But yeah, I mean, perfect if you're working in healthcare, or you're in an office with people who don't like strong perfumes, or if you're just trying to generally be very respectful. This is the kind of thing I could wear around my mum. I could absolutely douse myself in this and she wouldn't blink an eye. And again, like, my aunt does work in healthcare, so I think, you know, it says it all. It's just so lovely. It's really pretty. It's also not massively expensive. I mean, if you can get it on a deal, obviously, but I think the biggest bottle is like £40. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about is, because I was talking about the white tea Eau Fraiche, which I'm probably going to just test out that this weekend, because it's a massive bottle, so I don't want to take it around with me. I'm not going to decant any at the moment because I don't know if I'm keeping it yet. It depends how the full wear goes. But I was thinking to myself, the only one I hadn't smelt from the white tea collection is Vanilla Orchid. So I went and had a check on eBay, and some fabulous person had the Vanilla Orchid white tea in a carded sample. So this, they don't really have any information on the inside. Sadly, and genuinely sadly, I do think that this might have been discontinued. It's still on the Elizabeth Arden website, but you can't actually buy it. It says it's sold out. It says the same with Mediterranean. Let's hope to hell that they haven't discontinued that. I've only just discovered it. So white tea Vanilla Orchid is really pretty, but I'll tell you what, it smells exactly like my it's like the love child of two things I wore last week: Goji Berry Cactus from 4711 Aqua Colonia, and what's it called, Prerogative Ego by Britney Spears. That's exactly what it smells like. It's sweet, it's kind of creamy, it's a little bit fruity. Yeah, I don't know how, but it really does smell a bit like Prerogative Ego, just a bit lighter. You still got a tiny bit of like the white tea element in there that makes it slightly, I mean, it's almost like I could go Aqua Colonia for hot weather, this for kind of slightly cooler weather, and then Ego Prerogative really, really like chilly weather. But yeah, I mean, this is a very, very pretty perfume. I like it a lot. I am surprised by how much I like this one. I just assumed it had been discontinued because it wasn't very good, but it is actually really nice. I would highly recommend it. I think it's absolutely lush. If you don't have either of the other two, I mean, I don't need a bottle because of that. But I had, I wasn't given it. I bought 3 samples of this just because I think that's the only way I could get it. So I just got a pack of 3 basically. And I'm just very happy to just take these around with me as little kind of travel sprays, or like just wear them if I'm going on holiday or something, or even if I wanted to top up either of the other two. I think I could probably get away with it. And I mean, that's how much it reminds me of the other 2 perfumes. So the notes, our top notes are quince, bergamot, elmi and lemon. The middle notes are vanilla, orchid, white tea, gardenia and jasmine. Base notes vanilla, musk, amberwood, orris and amberette. How does it smell like those other 2 perfumes? I have no idea. It just does. And the other thing I was going to say is, weirdly, I think that maybe that general slight profile in the Goji and Cactus and in Prerogative Ego, I think it might be the underlying profile of Black Opium. Not because they actually properly smell like Black Opium, but because they don't have the patchouli, which is a massive part of Black Opium to me, which is why I can't wear it. But I think the general kind of sexy, slightly creamy, a little bit fruity, very sweet, that kind of general profile of Black Opium, I think is what I'm smelling in Prerogative Ego. And obviously that one actually does have coffee as well, slightly caramel-y, that one too, but with that fruit in the top. And I think maybe that's reminding me of Black Opium, but like a fuss pot version of Black Opium. And this perfume and the other one both remind me of that. So, I mean, tell me that I'm mad. I probably am. But that's just what the vibe is that I've been getting. Yeah. Okay, so that was a relatively long one this week, but I did wear quite a lot of stuff. I have been so happy to be getting back into my like spring summer perfumes, because I've got so many of them. I've got so much stuff to wear when it gets warmer. Just generally because I really like light perfumes because I'm a bit fussy. So I've just got so many that work so well at this time of year, way more than I've got that kind of only work in cold weather. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any of these, tell me what you think. And if you've bought any of these recently on my recommendation, definitely tell me what you think, because I'm really excited about some of them. And I just, there's only been 2 fails this week, and that was a JLo and the Dolce Shine. Everything else, just heavenly and beautiful.